Welcome back. In the past, our program did not attract a wide variety of students. In fact, our demographics were worse than average, both nationally and also with our peers. I believe many of us taught computing in a way that interested us. We motivated students thinking that it worked for us, it will work for them also. I remember more than once assignments in April dealt with taxes, something that was on the mind of the faculty. But were they really something that would interest students? The status quo was not something we wanted. We were dedicated. We wanted the best for our students. We also wanted the best for society. Prior modules have related the growth of computing is an incredible part of our national future. For individual equity and for the success of society, we have to grow the computer demographic pie to encompass more people and more diverse people. To do so, our Intro CS course had to change. I think computing faculty are on the whole pragmatic. What we sought were proven, effective changes that would improve CS1. Improvement is the byword. We did not seek a lessening of what the course accomplished. We wanted practices and pedagogies that would work for all students. We looked around, seeing what other universities and colleges were doing. What was the state of the art? I list here some of the publications that affected what we did and what we were able to accomplish. You will find these and other publications in the resource section of this module. Unlocking the Clubhouse had created a buzz, a rightful buzz. The computer science department at Carnegie Mellon was able to dramatically change its gender demographics. The AAAS and the National Science Foundation made analyses and national recommendations. Some groundbreaking research was also conducted by Joanne Cahoon on how to attract and retain female students in computing. As I noted earlier, Joanne, until her untimely death, was an important part of this project and the Tapestry projects. In fact, she was one of our co-founders. Her vision helped set this community college professional development effort into motion. Some of our changes were putting instructors into CS1 who wanted to be there, and also let the students know we wanted to be there. Student recognition of their instructors' interest and their performance creates the bond that stimulates student motivation. Ad hoc labs became institutionalized into weekly closed labs. They ensured that students not just had the knowledge of computing, but were facile in the practice of computing. We also changed the programming language of instruction. Over time, we have made further changes in our first course programming language. We initially switched to C++, then Java, and now Python. C++ and Java were used as a sort of market-driven approach. The CSAP exams used to be in those languages. The new CSAP exam is language neutral. We switched to Python as its low overhead and plethora of libraries supporting interesting and meaningful problem solving. The results were improvements across the board. Our students had increased interest in our class, evaluations were up, the number of majors went up in a period when many departments were losing students. We also saw increasing diversity, both in gender and URM, traditional underrepresented minorities. Our demographics changed such that we are now on par with our peers. Our demographics did not mean we were even close to reflecting the demographics of our school overall, something we were committed to achieving. We introduced multiple pathways to our common curriculum. What we wanted was students to be prepared for CS2. To do so, we needed a better CS1 environment. Students with prior programming experience were intimidating students who had not programmed in high school. They tried to make sure the rest of the class knew from day one that they had no hope of catching up with them. My worst experience was with a student who, in response to my asking whether there were any questions, asked if I could help him in rewriting his printer driver. He went on to describe what problem he was having. Can you imagine what the students without experience were thinking? So we created a section CS1E for students with prior experience. Our goal was for CS1 to be for students without prior programming experience. To get students into CS1E, we promised them common homework, tests, and grading scale as CS1. We also gave them enrichment that would not directly advantage them in CS2. The results were further improvement across the board. Evaluations went up, the number of majors increased, and the improvement in gender and URM diversity made us a leader among our peers. It is now your turn to share. What do you think about having multiple pathways? What multiple pathways would be helpful at your institution? Why? What are some of the other CS1 variations that can be tried? I look forward to hearing.